In a grand chamber high above the planet Xantor, the Galactic Council convened for a crucial meeting. The room was filled with representatives from many alien races, each with their own unique features and cultures. They gathered to discuss a topic that had been buzzing in the air for weeks: the rising threat of humans from Earth. As the council leader, a tall figure with shimmering blue skin and large, expressive eyes, called the meeting to order, the tension in the room was palpable. Many of the council members exchanged worried glances. They had heard strange stories about humans, their ability to survive in harsh conditions, and their unexpected creativity. "The humans have proven to be resilient," the leader began, his voice echoing in the chamber. "We cannot ignore the reports coming from our scouts. They are more capable than we once believed." A representative from the reptilian race, known for their fierce reputation, slammed his fist on the table. "This is nonsense! We should attack Earth immediately. They are primitive and weak. We can crush them easily." Another member, a soft-spoken creature with shimmering scales, shook her head. "We cannot underestimate them. They have shown they can fight back against greater forces. Remember what happened to the Eridan Empire? They thought they could defeat the humans, but they were wrong." Murmurs of agreement spread through the room. The leader continued, "We need a strategy. We must gather more intelligence before making any rash decisions. We cannot afford to fail in this mission. If we provoke them, they may retaliate in ways we cannot imagine." An older member of the council, with a long white beard that shimmered like stars, spoke up. "I propose we send a reconnaissance team to Earth. We must see firsthand what they are capable of. Knowledge is our best weapon." As the discussion continued, the room filled with heated arguments. Some members called for immediate action, while others insisted on caution. The tension escalated, and the leader struggled to maintain order. "Enough," he finally shouted. "We must reach a decision. Shall we send a team to gather information on Earth and its inhabitants?" Slowly, hands began to rise. The majority favored the plan to send a reconnaissance mission. The council agreed, and a small group of skilled scouts was chosen to travel to Earth. They would observe the humans and report back on their findings. With the decision made, the atmosphere in the chamber shifted. Excitement mixed with anxiety. Everyone knew the risks of this mission, but the potential rewards were great. If they could learn about the humans, they could better prepare for whatever came next. As the meeting concluded, the representatives exchanged anxious looks. Each race had its own history, its own reasons for either fearing or wanting to conquer the humans. The reptilian race, in particular, had a long-standing rivalry with Earth, which added to the tension. Once the council members left, the leader remained in the chamber deep in thought. He knew the importance of this decision weighed heavily on his shoulders. He couldn't shake the feeling that the humans were unlike any race they had faced before. Their ability to adapt and innovate was impressive, and he wondered if war was truly the answer. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the council's decision to send scouts would eventually reach the human leaders. They too had their own worries and preparations to make. The council believed they could outsmart humans, but what they didn't realize was how resourceful and united humanity could be when faced with a threat. As the leader of the Galactic Council prepared for the next steps, he understood that the fate of both the Council and humanity hung in the balance. Little did they know, the humans were also gearing up for an unexpected battle, ready to defend their home against what they saw as an impending invasion. The stage was set and the universe held its breath. What would happen next would change everything. But for now, both sides were unaware of the full extent of the conflict that was about to unfold. On Earth, a sense of urgency filled the air as news of the Galactic Council's plans reached the leaders of nations. Reports from scientists and military experts flooded in, warning that an alien threat loomed just beyond the stars. As the information spread, people across the globe felt a mix of fear and determination. The time for action had come. In a large conference room filled with representatives from every country, world leaders gathered to discuss the situation. They sat around a massive oval table, each looking more serious than the last. The atmosphere was tense and the stakes were high. A young, charismatic general named Alex stood up to address the crowd. "Ladies and gentlemen," Alex began, his voice steady but filled with passion, "we have received alarming reports about an alien council preparing to attack our planet. We cannot sit idly by and wait for them to strike. It's time for us to unite and show them that humanity will not back down." The room erupted with murmurs as the leaders exchanged anxious glances. Some were skeptical, thinking it was just another false alarm. But others felt the weight of the moment and nodded in agreement. A leader from a powerful nation spoke up, "General. We need to assess our military capabilities. Are we prepared for a full-scale war against an alien force?" General Alex nodded. "I believe we can be. Our scientists have made incredible advancements in technology, and our military is strong. But we must work together. This is not a fight we can win alone. We need every nation to contribute." After a few hours of discussion, the leaders reached a decision. They would form a global defense alliance, pooling resources, technology, and knowledge to prepare for the upcoming threat. The plan was ambitious, but they knew it was necessary. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Countries around the world began to collaborate, sharing intelligence and technology. Scientists worked day and night to develop new weapons and defenses. Engineers rushed to improve existing technology, ensuring everything was ready for the looming conflict. As the news spread, citizens everywhere began to rally around the cause. People from all walks of life joined together, united by a common goal. They organized rallies, wrote letters to their leaders, and volunteered for military service. The spirit of cooperation soared, and a sense of hope replaced fear. In a small town in the Midwest, a young woman named Maya decided to take action. She had always dreamed of being a pilot, but never had the chance. Now, with war on the horizon, she signed up for training. "I want to do my part," she told her family. "If we're going to fight for our planet, I want to be in the sky, protecting our home." Maya's determination inspired others in her community. Soon, local citizens joined the military, offering their skills to the defense effort. Across the nation, similar stories unfolded as people stepped up to defend their future. Meanwhile, General Alex took charge of the Global Defense Alliance. He held meetings with military leaders, strategizing and planning for the potential invasion. They studied alien technology and devised countermeasures. The goal was clear: humanity needed to be ready for anything. As preparations continued, a sense of pride grew among the people. They felt united in a way they had never experienced before. People shared their stories, encouraging one another and fostering a sense of camaraderie. Social media exploded with messages of hope and determination, and the hashtag Dakar United for Earth became a rallying cry. Despite the uncertainty of what lay ahead, humanity stood strong. They knew that they were facing an unknown enemy, but they also recognized their strength in unity. As the days turned into weeks, the world watched the skies, ready for the call to defend their home. General Alex looked out at the vast crowd of soldiers and civilians gathered for a rally. He raised his voice, "Together we are stronger! Together we will show them that Earth is not to be underestimated. We will fight for our families, our friends, and our future." As cheers erupted from the crowd, a sense of determination filled the air. Humanity was ready to face the challenge ahead. They were no longer divided. They were united for defense, prepared to protect their planet from the unknown threat lurking in the stars. The Galactic Council's decision to send a reconnaissance team to Earth was a turning point in the unfolding drama between two worlds. As the scout ship, a sleek vessel called the Starseeker, approached Earth, its crew of alien experts prepared for what they thought would be an easy mission. They believed that observing humans would confirm their assumptions about their weakness and lack of coordination. But they were in for a surprise. On board the Starseeker, Commander Zorak, a tall alien with shimmering green skin and 4 eyes, stood at the helm. He was confident, even arrogant, as he instructed his crew. "Remember, our mission is to gather data and return. We must not engage with the humans unless absolutely necessary. They are beneath us." The crew nodded, though some felt a hint of doubt. As they entered Earth's atmosphere, the blue and green planet below shimmered with life. Zorak pointed to a large city on the screen. "We will begin our observations here. The humans live in large groups. It will be easy to gather information." Meanwhile, in the bustling city of New York, Maya was busy with her pilot training. She and her fellow trainees had just completed a grueling exercise when they received word of an unusual object flying in the sky. The training officer quickly organized a team to investigate. "We need to identify what that is. It could be part of the alien threat," he said, urgency in his voice. As Maya and her team rushed to their aircraft, the Starseeker hovered above, unnoticed at first. Zorak watched the humans scramble below, feeling a mix of curiosity and disdain. "Look at them. They are so disorganized," he scoffed. But as the humans launched their jets into the air, Zorak's confidence began to waver. "Commander, they are mobilizing quickly. Should we adjust our position?" one of his crew members asked. "No! We cannot show fear," Zorak replied firmly. "We will observe and gather data. We must stay hidden." Just then, a human pilot spotted the Starseeker. Maya's jet zoomed toward the unidentified ship. "There it is! I can see something up there," she shouted into her communication device. Her heart raced with adrenaline. This could be it, the threat we've been preparing for. The humans executed their maneuvers, forming a protective formation around the alien vessel. Zorak, realizing they had been detected, felt a surge of panic. "Initiate cloaking mode! We cannot let them see us," he ordered. However, it was too late. The humans were already in position, and they approached the Star Seeker with caution. Maya and her team signaled to one another, ready for anything. "We need to communicate with them," she suggested. "Show them we mean no harm." With their advanced technology, the humans sent out a signal attempting to make contact. "This is Pilot Maya from Earth. We see you up there. Please respond. We wish to communicate peacefully." Inside the Star Seeker, the crew was stunned. They had not expected such an intelligent and organized response. Zorak hesitated. "Should we respond?" he asked, uncertainty creeping into his voice. After a tense moment, he decided to take a risk. "This is Commander Zorak of the Galactic Council. We come in peace and wish to observe your planet." His voice crackled through the communication device. Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. "We are prepared to listen. We understand you are curious about us, but we also want to know more about you." "We are not what you think," she replied. The atmosphere shifted as both sides realized they were no longer enemies, but potential allies. Zorak's initial arrogance faded as he engaged in conversation with Maya. They discussed their worlds, cultures, and technologies, finding common ground amidst their differences. For hours, the two parties exchanged ideas and stories. The humans shared their advancements in technology and defense, while the aliens revealed their own capabilities. Zorak, impressed by the humans' ingenuity, began to see them in a new light. By the end of the meeting, both sides had learned valuable lessons. The humans realized they were not as isolated as they thought, and the aliens understood that humans were much more formidable than they had imagined. As they parted ways, Zorak knew that this unexpected visit had changed everything. The Star Seeker vanished into the stars, leaving Maya and her team with a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just preparing for war, they were forging a path toward understanding and cooperation. Both sides were now aware that their fates were intertwined, and that knowledge could be the key to a peaceful future, or the start of a fierce conflict. As days turned into weeks, the world held its breath. The unexpected meeting between Commander Zorak and Pilot Maya had sparked hope, but uncertainty lingered in the air. While both sides seemed eager for peace, tensions were rising within the Galactic Council and among Earth's military leaders. On one side of the galaxy, the Galactic Council debated their next move. A meeting was called in the Grand Chamber, where representatives from various alien races gathered. Zorak stood at the center, eager to share his insights from Earth. "I believe the humans are not the weak creatures we thought they were," he began, his voice steady. But a tall, intimidating figure named Grivok, an imposing warlord from the planet Tharax, interrupted him. "You speak foolishly, Zorak. Humans are unpredictable. They may seem friendly now, but we must prepare for war. Their technology is advancing rapidly, and they will not hesitate to defend themselves." The room buzzed with agreement from other council members, their voices rising in a cacophony of fear and anger. Zorak clenched his fists, struggling to hold his ground. "We can't jump to conclusions based on fear. They are willing to communicate, to share knowledge. We need to explore that option." Grivok's eyes narrowed. "You underestimate them. We must show strength. If we do not act decisively, they will take advantage of our hesitation." Meanwhile, on Earth, General Alex received reports of strange activity near the borders of known alien space. Military satellites detected a fleet of alien ships moving closer to Earth. The tension in the command center was palpable as they analyzed the data. "Look at this! They are gathering forces," one analyst exclaimed, pointing at the screen filled with flashing lights and moving dots. "They are preparing for something big." General Alex turned to his team, determination etched on his face. "We cannot let our guard down. We need to be ready for anything. Contact our allies and alert everyone. We need all hands on deck." The news spread like wildfire among the Global Defense Alliance. Citizens began to worry, questioning whether the fragile peace they thought they had built could survive. News reports highlighted the mounting military presence in space, leading to protests in the streets. People demanded answers and action. In a small town, Maya watched the news in disbelief. "I thought we were making progress," she muttered, feeling the weight of the world on her shoulders. Determined to act, she joined a group of pilots who met to discuss their next steps. "We need to reach out to Commander Zorak again. If we don't communicate, misunderstandings will lead to conflict," she urged her fellow pilots. "Are you sure that's wise?" one pilot asked, skepticism lacing his voice. "What if they see it as a sign of weakness? Or a sign of strength?" Maya countered. "We must show that we are willing to talk, even when tensions are high. We can't let fear control us." With a plan in mind, Maya and her team prepared a message for the Star Seeker. They expressed their desire for continued dialogue and offered to meet in a neutral zone. As they sent out the transmission, hope flickered in their hearts. Back in the Galactic Council, Zorak received Maya's message. He felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. "They want to talk again," he announced to the Council, but his voice was met with a mixture of scorn and concern. Grivok sneered. "You still believe in their good intentions? This is a trap! They are trying to deceive us. We must remain on high alert and prepare for battle." Zorak's patience was wearing thin. "If we act on fear alone, we will never understand them. We must choose to communicate, not confront. We can find a way to coexist." As both sides stood at the brink of conflict, fear and uncertainty gripped their hearts. The humans and the aliens were caught in a web of tension where one misstep could lead to disaster. Days passed without response and anxiety deepened. Maya's determination to reach out remained, but she felt the pressure building as each day brought news of more alien ships gathering in the shadows of space. Meanwhile, Zorak, torn between his loyalty to the Council and his desire for peace, felt the weight of the universe on his shoulders. Time was running out. Both sides had a choice to make: continue down the path of war or take a brave step toward understanding. As tensions rose and both worlds prepared for what lay ahead, a question lingered in the air. Would they find a way to prevent the conflict, or would they spiral into chaos? The fate of both worlds hung in the balance, waiting for a decision that could change everything. The tension that had been building between humans and the Galactic Council finally reached a breaking point. News of a large alien fleet approaching Earth had sent shockwaves through the global defense network. As military leaders scrambled to prepare, the hope for peaceful resolution faded into the background. In the command center, General Alex paced back and forth, anxiety etched on his face. "We don't have much time." "They are coming and we must defend our planet!" he shouted. Officers rushed around him, working tirelessly to coordinate their defenses. Meanwhile, aboard the Star Seeker, Commander Zorak was equally on edge. The Council's decision to launch a full-scale invasion was now set in motion, and he felt a heavy burden on his shoulders. "This was not what I wanted," he muttered, looking out at the stars through the ship's viewport. "We could have found a better way." But the warlord Grivok had pushed hard for this course of action, insisting that humanity posed a great threat. "Prepare the fleet for battle," Grivok commanded, his voice cold and demanding. "We will show them our strength and take what is rightfully ours." As both sides readied for war, Maya and her fellow pilots were in their hangar, preparing their jets. The mood was grim as they reviewed their strategies. "We need to stay united," Maya urged her team. "If we falter, it could mean the end for us all. We have to show them that we are not afraid." With determination fueling their hearts, the pilots boarded their jets and launched into the sky. The roar of engines filled the air as they took their positions in formation. Below them, cities were bracing for impact, and civilians watched in fear as the alien fleet appeared on the horizon. As the two forces met in the sky, the air crackled with tension. Zorak looked out at the massive armada of ships stretching across the sky. He felt a sense of regret for what was about to happen. "There must be another way," he whispered to himself. General Alex stood in the command center, watching the alien ships approach. "This is it! Prepare for engagement!" he shouted, adrenaline coursing through his veins. The humans launched their first wave of attacks, laser beams shooting through the air toward the oncoming fleet. The battle began with a fierce exchange of fire. Zorak ordered his crew to retaliate. "Return fire! Show them our strength!" As beams of energy clashed in the sky, chaos erupted. Pilots from both sides maneuvered their ships with agility, trying to outsmart each other amidst the explosions and chaos. In the heat of the battle, Maya found herself face to face with an alien fighter. "This is it!" she thought as she tightened her grip on the controls. With a quick maneuver, she evaded the enemy's shots and returned fire, hitting the alien ship. "I can't believe this is happening!" she shouted into her radio. Back on the Star Seeker, Zorak struggled to maintain control of the battle. His heart raced as he saw his ships fall one by one. "We can't keep this up," he yelled to his crew. "We must find a way to end this without further bloodshed." But Grivok was relentless. "Push forward!" "We cannot show weakness now!" he roared, spurring the troops into a deeper frenzy. The war continued to escalate, and casualties mounted on both sides. As the battle raged, a moment of clarity struck Zorak. He realized that they had underestimated humanity's resolve and strength. "We need to communicate," he shouted to his crew. "Signal the humans! Tell them we want to talk." On the ground, Maya received the unexpected message. Confused but hopeful, she relayed it to General Alex. "They want to talk!" "Maybe there's still a chance," she said, excitement lacing her voice. General Alex felt a spark of hope. "If we can pause the battle, we might be able to find a solution," he replied. "But we need to be careful. We can't let them deceive us." As the two sides temporarily halted their attacks, the air was filled with a heavy silence. Both humans and aliens took a moment to regroup, realizing the destruction they had caused. Zorak and Maya met in a neutral zone between their forces, both aware of the stakes. "We need to stop this senseless fighting," Zorak urged, his eyes filled with urgency. "Let us find a way to coexist. We cannot let fear dictate our actions any longer." Maya nodded, understanding the importance of their words. "We must communicate and learn from each other. Together we can build a future instead of destroying one another." As the battle raged on, the two leaders stood on the brink of a new beginning, knowing that the choice they made in this moment would determine the fate of their worlds. Would they choose to end the war and find a way to work together, or would fear and anger continue to drive them apart? The answer lay in their hands, and time was running out.